Do you want to be a fearless public speaker, one that reduces the nerves and allows you to speak with authority? Well, in today's episode, I'm going to share with you one technique that we can help that's going to allow you to, again, reduce those nerves to get you in control. Now, what often happens is people want to shine on stage. They want to be fearless. Okay, I love it. I love it. Get on the stage, command the audience, own the stage, all of these things. But there's one obstacle that typically comes up that consistently, in my Speak with Confidence training, is that we consistently see, and that is the inner critic. Now, a lot of times people focus on being fearless. They look at the audience. I want to win them over. I want to connect with them. And this is great. But in order to do that, to lose this fear, to reduce this anxiety, we have to start off with going inside. An example is, when we do our training, one of the first things that we do is a baseline video. And what that is you get up there, you speak 30 seconds. Quick introduction, your name, what you do, what you want to get from the training. Very simple. It doesn't even matter what you say. We just need to get a snapshot to see where are you right now, establish that baseline to build you up. But this is where the nerves typically come in, the anxiety comes up. It's when they say, okay, watch your videos now. That's one of the first things they have to do is watch your videos. And that is incredibly confronting because for most people, when they're watching their videos, what do? They look at it and they have a laundry list of what they don't like. I don't like the way I look. I don't like the way I sound. I don't like the way I said this. I don't like my body positioning, my hand positioning. And it's just a laundry list of everything. That's where it becomes very hard because people go, oh, I don't think I did anything well. Again, it's the inner critic. If you want to be a fearless speaker, one of the obstacles that typically comes, it's that inner game, that inner critic. Because when you're speaking on that stage, yeah, you're the center of attention. Yes, people are looking at you. Yes, people are judging you. But are you judging yourself? And when you're judging yourself so critically, this is something that leads up. This is before you ever get to a stage. If you want to shine on stage, you got to look at before. How are you talking to yourself leading up to it, the days before, the nights before, the minutes before? And so this is something that we consistently come up with. And it's one of these inside out techniques that we do. So an activity that I have is for you to do at home to start building your confidence will allow you to reduce the anxiety is self-acceptance. And what I mean by that is record yourself speaking, right? Recording yourself speaking and breaking it down and watching it, looking at it through the lens of number one. Right? The first thing that you ask is, what did I do well? Okay, that's the most difficult question to answer is, what did I do well? When you can come up from that place and actually identify what you feel that you did well and actually believe it, because again, it's so easy and it's not your fault, right? It's not your fault. There's an aspect called the negativity bias that lists out that you're going to pick out many negative things before you pick out one positive thing. So it's not your fault. I mean, a lot of people theorize that this is from an evolutionary standpoint. This is how we survived, right? This is how we survived, is that we were always on the lookout for dangers, looking for threats, looking for things that were wrong, because that was more important to survival than it was about looking at everything that's going well. And so this is not served us then, but it will help us today when we harness this power and take it back and go, okay, start off by building that self-acceptance by listing out, number one, what you did well, and then number two, what will I improve next time? It's a very simple but extremely powerful process. Why that's so important is because it allows you a goal, something to work towards, to build up, to go, okay, the next time that I get up, because most people, they look at their first videos, they go, oh, I don't like that at all. I don't want to do this. I feel discouraged. This is taking away my motivation. I was here for motivation, and it's actually taking away my motivation. But that's because we're looking at it with the mindset of picking ourselves apart instead of focusing on improvement. Right? If you just look at yourself and go, look, I am a work in progress, and today I'm doing the best that I can, focused on improving for tomorrow. That's going to be the mindset that's going to help you move forward with this. So if you want to reduce the anxiety, build your self-confidence, allow you to start speaking with authority on every stage that you speak on, one aspect to definitely go into is having that question with yourself, right? That self-reflection. How critical am I of myself when I'm speaking? Watch a video. What goes through your mind when you see it? And again, it's just about seeing it as an honest starting point. Are you tearing yourself apart? Are you picking out everything that's wrong? Or are you seeing some things that you're doing well? Where you take control of this is where you flip it and you prime yourself to go, number one, what did I do well? Number two, what will I work on next time? And when you do those two, you ask those two questions every time you speak, the inner critic's going to start going down. The anxiety is going to start going down. Why? Because imagine for a second if you don't, and you see yourself on a video speaking and you just pick yourself apart, just rip it apart, very, very critical of yourself. Now you're speaking in front of an audience of 20, 30, 100, 200 people. What do you imagine that they're going to be doing? And this is where people get afraid. This is where a lot of the fear gets brought up because people look at it and go, okay, well, if I'm this critical of myself, Now I'm in front of 50 people or 100 people that are also looking at me that harshly. Well, of course, public speaking is going to seem like a very frightening concept. And I would want to avoid that, wouldn't you? But that's where we need to change the dynamic. So if you're imagining that you're so critical and that everyone else is going to be that critical, of course, it's going to be overwhelming. It's going to bring up a tremendous amount of stress. But when you take control by going inside and harnessing that power of compassion, turning down that inner critic, building up that self-compassion, simply focusing on what did I do well, and then what will I improve next time, you're going to be more compassionate yourself. You're going to be less critical. The audience is going to be, again, more accepting now because it's a mirror. The audience is a mirror of how you feel inside. So that's something that comes up with it. You're going to find that your confidence is going to go up. It's going to allow you to speak with more authority because you are accepting yourself. And that's going to drop off a lot of the fear that comes up from an audience, which is like, oh, I want to be accepted. I want to be liked. Well, how do you talk to yourself? And that's where that self-compassion comes in. Okay, so that's a very powerful technique that you can utilize to build your confidence, allow you to start speaking like an authority when you're on that stage, something that you can control, but it's going to shift the dynamic. So you want to shine on that stage. It's an inside-out process. This is one technique that's going to help you do that. So I hope that helps you to start doing this. It's going to allow you to reduce those nerves because the audiences now are going to be more encouraging. Because when you start turning down your inner critic, the audience is going to be less critical. It's going to appear less critical to you. Because the reality is most people in that audience would be deathly afraid or just not want to say yes to that opportunity at all. And that's where you stand out. You've won already just by getting on that stage. You don't have to be amazing. You don't have to be the best dynamic speaker of all time. The fact that you said yes is already a win because most people in that audience are going to be nervous to afraid of speaking in public. So they'd be avoiding it. Kind it yourself. And again, come back to the technique. What did I do well? Will I improve on next time? That's going to move forward. And it's a practice going to keep building you up. So thank you so much. I hope you are able to take this and speak because your message needs to be heard.